The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com.
Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost Here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Future Tech Podcast. My name is Josh Thomas and I'm here with Derrick Lovrenich from Insure Ecosystem. And the website, if you want to follow along at home, is insureco.io, insureco.io. Insure Ecosystem is a blockchain-enabled, decentralized, end-to-end insurance software platform. Hello, Derrick. How's it going?
It's going fantastic.
Glad to have you on here. So I'm really curious to know about how are we using the blockchain for insurance. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. So we use both a private and public blockchain to make insurance transactions secure and immutable and fully transparent down the supply chain, from reinsurance all the way to the retail agent and even on into the insured himself.
Okay. Very good. And so would this apply to all forms of insurance, health insurance, car insurance, life, or is it for a certain sector?
No, it's for all. We've been at this for a while. We are the blockchain side has kind of been something that we used to have to keep in the garage, so to speak, and now with the success that everyone's hearing in the market, it's now got curb appeal. So we're bringing that forward, and we've already developed and implemented solutions in pretty much every major insurance market under every major insurance line. So we focused a lot in the property and casualty, and we've released those already this year, cyber liability product, and we're going to be moving into personal lines. We've got some good partners for that. You know,
it's funny that you said that you were keeping it in the garage.
Yeah.
I just a little side story here, because I was thinking about this. I'm walking around. There's this mixed-use residential center here in Austin called the Domain, and they are opening. They're building right now an Amazon bookstore, and I thought that was pretty meta that the world's largest online bookstore is now building physical bookstores. But I have to ask, whenever it's done, wouldn't it be awesome if that Amazon bookstore looked like Jeff Bezos' garage?
Right. There's a great little meme traveling around right now. I've seen it reposted about 1,000 times in the last 10 days, but it's of that picture of that first Amazon office. And I think there's a lot of us out there that have been in blockchain. They're like, I can completely relate to that.
Yeah, it comes full circle after a while. So talk to us a little bit about the problems that exist in this industry now, and what kind of problems blockchain solves, and what kind of problems your technology solves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of problems that blockchain is going to be able to face, and I think one of the major problems that we have right now in the insurance industry is that there's a lot of money coming into it, and investors are looking at it, and a lot of really smart people from Stanford and this that understand technology, better than most, are coming into a market, but they don't understand the nuances of insurance. And I think that's really where we've been able to succeed is that we've been in the insurance. We understand the distribution model. We understand that current entrants are coming in and essentially just taking carriers direct. And that's something you're not really disrupting. you're more reshuffling, and we're seeing a lot of that going on. So I think the problems that the insurance industry is facing is really, how they don't understand technology, and now blockchain's one more technology they don't understand. I mean, we had a really hard time getting some of these guys to get servers out of their office and trust the cloud, and they went through a complete transformation there, and now we're seeing these new entrants come in and just attack that supply chain and go direct, and it's just not really the way insurance needs to work. And I think that our solution really provides that answer, because like any good revolution, right? It's got to be power to the people. That's what makes blockchain good. That's what makes Bitcoin. It's why it's power to the people. And if you take a top-down solution and you go get $100 million from some reinsure guy that sits at the top, and you're going to build him some amazing solution top down, like, that's not revolutionary and that's not disruptive. And I think our solution provides that. We're enabling the insured, we're enabling the retail broker, and we're making them feel safe that blockchain is going to save them and enable them to do their job and quit selling on price and actually really devote real time and attention to understanding what is the true insurance need. And not just trying to be a quick salesman. And that's really what's going to build the movement, and that's what we're seeing resonate throughout our agency base. We've got over 3,000 agents that are buying into this concept, and they understand. And I'm amazed. I see these guys that they don't know anything about technology, but they've got Binance and these other, trading sites open that I'm seeing on as I'm giving them insurance demos, and it's a gap there, and they're interested and they want to participate, and we're going to show them how.
Very good. And so, is this a technology that is geared more towards the provider or towards the user?
All of it. We are the end-to-end insurance. We are from retail to reinsure. It's got a little tagline we like. And now with our Insured Bio platform that we're going to be releasing, it allows insureds to participate in this and get out of that parasitic pay-per-click. Basically, you're paying your own lead fee. These sales agents pay for these leads that come off online, and then they put that cost right back into your policy fee. And so then you're now paying to have your own data transact. It's ridiculous. So that we're eliminating that. So we're bringing value to all of the members, from insured to reinsured to wholesale to general agent to carrier to reinsured to claims to legal to compliance. We've got a little piece for everyone.
A little bit of everything for everyone. So talk to me a little bit. Insurance is a 100-year plus old industry. It's got a bunch of old timers that are kind of in charge and moving all of the big chess pieces around. How do you come in here with technology and disrupt it?
Yeah, well, I think the disruption doesn't really lie there. I think you need to more enable it. I think one of the things that I see is you're right. We do have in our industry an aging executive base, and I think I read somewhere we're over the next 5 years, more executives are going to be retiring out of our space than in any other industry. And what that's leaving is these younger brokers that are coming in, that are young, that are hungry, that are now wanting to fill that void, right, by the old timers leaving. And they're searching out AI. They're searching out all these really great tools to allow them to assess risk better. And what that does is it allows you to move. But if you don't have what we're kind of championing, the InsurTech singularity, if you don't have one platform, you're now having friction at every single level as you grow from being, and that's, as we know, power to the people. We got to keep that concept always in play here. And if you can't allow somebody to scale their operation from having a good idea to all the way up to insuring it themselves, you're not really doing that. And our system provides a way for these older generation guys to, I'm not going to say future-proof, right? But it puts them in a position where in our industry, we can't go full public blockchain. We have data that's sensitive, and there's tons of really, really smart people out there right now trying to figure out how to solve, the hashing and do we put public data and then hash it, and then what if our key gets out and then everybody's exposed? So there's a lot of confusion and just a lot of uncertainty there. So we're taking more of a traditional approach, and that's really appealing to these old timers that are wanting to get their product out. They want to pass down a legacy. They want to keep something going and have that momentum. They can put their solution, with us, and then we're able to, if they want to leave and they want to sell or they want to aggregate, we've got a lot of guys that are aggregating these old-time business models and putting them on these platforms that are more efficient, right? And so that is a huge problem when you're going in and you've got 9 different systems to pull data out of, and then be able to move all those into 4 other systems. And that's the problem, aging, agency base.
I see. And so talk to us a little bit now about what do you see as the future innovations of the insurance industry? Blockchain is coming in. But where do you see insurance? I normally ask this question about what happens in a year, but insurance is an industry that moves slow. So in a year, we're probably going to be in the exact same spot we are now. What would you say is going to happen to insurance technology in 10 years, in 2028, for instance?
I hope, this is a little bit of a provocative statement, being a guy that's made his money and everything off of insurance technology, but I feel it's going to die. I think like I spoke before, there's an insurtech singularity that's going to happen. And there doesn't need to be 50 solutions. There needs to be one solution that's run, and then it allows everyone to plug their unique value-added pieces. We're doing some of the innovative things that we're working with. Max, they're doing some cyber liability scoring, where they look at your data. They use great analytics and run all these models, and they tell insurers, look, this is how much risk you really have, and they quantify that in the score and stuff. And that those types of value adds are great, but there's other people out there that are just aggregating free public data, and we're calling these guys affectionately, data thugs, that are essentially providing no value, but bringing a whole bunch of, they're making it easy. But for an agent who's already technically challenged, like they're salesmen, they're not, they're relationship people, they're insurance professionals, they're not as savvy on computers. And what you're having them do is now log into 50 different systems to go find all these little microservices. And for developers, we love it. Like, give us the bare minimum, awesome. Like, that's been we went through that, the production ready microservice movement, right? So provide some small piece and make it really bulletproof. Well, that's great for us, but for these insurance professionals, to give them all these little tools, it's too much, and it creates a fragmented system. So I think in the future, you're going to see one system provide a plug-in, let's say, or like an app store type deal, where these carriers can load in their programs and do their modeling and do all this, and these other data providers can provide their niched out, I'm making some great tool to allow you to assess this risk pool better. I think that's where we're going to go to, and we're going to see, innovation through collaboration, whereas right now, everybody's so freaked out you're going to steal their data. If we can just eliminate that, and make right now, agents don't want to share their information with wholesalers because they feel this top-down movement's just going to replace them. And so they have to keep that information tight. And I think that flow of data is going to open up. And once that does, and we've seen this in other industries, so it's nothing really new, but once we see that, there's going to be a large leap in innovation. And that's where I see us in hopefully the next 2 to 3 years is where I'm hoping, as we start moving in that direction. But definitely, like you're saying, in the 20s, well, I guess that would be a couple of years, right? But 2025 in that area, I'm seeing it being software management is free. Agents can build things for free. They don't need to pay thousands of dollars a month for technology. There's just no reason for it.
Makes sense to me. Insurance is a touchy subject for some, but it's a necessary evil in our life. And you might be somebody that could comment on this intelligently. Could you tell us about the marketplace and some of the ways that you can assist? And when that first came out, it was kind of a big mess, and now it's still kind of a big mess. And premiums are spiking. People can't afford insurance, or they're getting less coverage. What are your so just like outside of technology? What are your thoughts on that? And then come back and add some color to that about, can technology fix that problem?
Oh, it absolutely can. I mean, without a doubt. I'll just start there. And you're setting me up for failure by speaking intelligently to a point, I think. But anyway,
come on now,
we've got the problem that happened with I think, and what I'm hearing, let's say from and I'm obviously not an actuary. I don't own an insurance company, but what I'm hearing from my friends who are is essentially what happened in that marketplace concept and with health insurance and with the regulations that were put in is essentially insurance is all about figuring out a gamble. And is this guy going to have this claim? And then quantifying those and being like, it was explained to me once by an actuary that if you know how to play blackjack, like there's a book, and if you follow by the book, everybody's going to have the best odds to beat the house. You start getting wild and make it hitting on 12 when you shouldn't, and it creates an imbalance. And that's really how they liken allowing, when they draw their actuarial guidelines and they say, we're going to charge this much for this policy, it's based on a risk pool, and you're going to there has to be trust that the gatekeeper, like the underwriter and the retailer, are going to play by the rules and not let the wrong type of people into your risk pool, because they will then have what is called, and sometimes they just underwrite improperly and they get what they call a shock loss, right? And so in that kind of breaks all of the numbers up, and now the company can't make money because they built their model on a 30% loss ratio. So what you're seeing in the healthcare industry was the government put in a regulation that eliminated the ability for insurers to draw those risk pools and properly price. And so what you're seeing now in InsurTech is really smart guys that know a lot more than I do about, artificial intelligence and machine learning. And I'm trying to catch up to them because I just think it's awesome. But what they're doing is they're doing these CAT modeling, and they're assessing and hitting all these public data points, and they're bringing back easier ways for the insurance. Let's call them, they're the capacity guys, but they're the guy taking the gamble on it, right? They're the guy sitting at the table, and then they're going to say, we're going to make it really easy for you to identify these pools so you can properly price your product. And, most people say, like you had mentioned it earlier, insurance is a necessary evil. I really think we need to shed that. And the reason why that evil is even in there is because people don't see the transparency of what really goes on. And if we were to get all of get the sale of insurance out, right? Get that out of there and not make it a commodity-based industry, and not make that, and make it truly about making sure we can have a healthy insurance program, right? That is insuring these type of people that are doing these types of things, whether they're contractors or they're whatever they are. You can group them, and that these guys are going to have this amount of loss, and then you can build pricing around that and make it happen. But when you start saying that you're going to throw a blanket over everybody, well, now you've eliminated all these guys that are having the money, that are saying, yes, when you come running and need help, I'm going to be there for you. Well, they now don't know how much money they need to be hanging on to help you. And I think that's really what's disrupted in a really horrible fashion, the insurance healthcare industry. And I think we're seeing a little bit of them getting the ability back, but it's just because people don't understand the way insurance needs to work in order to really be there for you. Like, it's just a mathematical equation. I think if we can cut out to 30 to 40%, and if you get into some claims and you get into some of the stuff where the lawyers are running around at hundreds of dollars an hour trying to figure out which carrier is responsible because there's multiple carriers. Like, cities are spending time doing this. Like, once all of that gets eliminated and we get into one single system where it's all stored and it's blockchain, it's immutable, and you can see it all, the savings is going to be amazing. And it will simplify the process to where there's tons of people coming out now. Lemonade is one of them, that they make a very, very nice UI. It is a wonderful UI that is super easy to go through. They've nailed it, and they're getting a lot of attention because of that. But really, at the end of the day, that isn't, you can make up a real nice, pretty website for a retail agent and do the same thing, So it's just going to be, if you can make it transparent, if you can make the general public, if you can use data to make it simple, that's where we win.
Wise words, and I echo those every chance that I get. If you can make this simple, then you win.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to ultimately set you apart. Derrick Lovrenich from Insure Ecosystem. Tell us just real quick before we wrap, where can we learn more, and who should engage with you?
Absolutely. We're looking for innovators in the insurtech space. We're looking for pretty much anybody that's interested. If you've got a friend, if you're a developer and you've got a buddy that's got a retail agency, we want to show you how to use our tools, our battle-tested workflows and tools to be able to put that together. And we're going to be obviously presenting. I think the best place to come see us is at the convention. We're going to be there. I'm going to be presenting how, showing some of the flaws and presenting how you can sign up and you can get started right now using our existing tools. I think that's really where we want to do is empower developers to not have to worry about all this compliance, not have to understand that, and build. So we're looking for that. And then we're looking for carriers and other people that want to come to us and say, hey, we're tired of the inefficiency and we want a better way as well. So our website is a great place to start, and that'll direct you right to who you need to speak with.
Insureco.io, INSURECO.io. Okay. Hey, Derrick, thanks again for joining us. Any final thoughts before we go?
Well, I hope that the industry really realizes how badly insurance needs them, and really thinks about not trying to keep data to themselves and share that and collaborate. That's what this industry needs. And if everybody can come and really participate in that, I think we're going to see a lot of movement, because we're ready. The industry's ready.
Good deal. That'll do it for this episode of the Future Tech Podcast. Hey, we'll see you next time, everybody.
The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.